Hello. I pray this message finds you well and full of the beautiful love and light of the One Most High. If this is your first time joining me here, I would like to thank you for taking the time to view this video. And if you've been here before, you already know what's up. So in this video, I will be just kind of like an introduction video where I'll kind of like to talk about myself a little bit and explain some things as far as, who I am and I guess what I am and how I got to be how I am. So I'll start by showcasing my little business card here. And I'm really excited about this because I just kind of like put myself out there. This was kind of like a whim for me to even make these. Somebody else requested that I make these after hearing me speak at an event. So it was really cool. So I'll start out with, so it says my name, Ayesha Aashaki, has the title Operation Next Level Education. That is really this brand that I'm focusing on and bringing awareness and education in a multifaceted sort of situation. And then it goes on to, I guess, my attributes. So I'll go ahead and start. So I have energy healer, empath, psychic medium, and master learner and educator. So I just want to go over what that means to me. And that's kind of like I said, my introduction to who I am. So first of all, I go by Ayesha Aashaki. Aashaki is my middle name, was given to me by my mother, and my whole name, believe it or not, actually means beautiful life. And so that really resonates with me because I'm able to find the beauty in anything, and I love life, in all its forms and fashion. So I thought that was pretty cool. The next thing, an energy healer. So I have done a couple of energy healing sessions. I'm actually going to do a video about my experience, my personal experience. Not any like tutorials or anything like that, but definitely just like my experience that I've had with energy healing, how I learned that I was an energy healer. I did like some work on myself, and it was just kind of like, what? And then I did some work with some other people, and they were like, what? And so, yeah. And then, so I'll share my experience with that in another video. Empath. I've always known that I was like really sensitive to other people's feelings, which is why I've never been able to intentionally hurt anyone's feelings. But it wasn't until later in life that I actually understood the energy of emotion and actually being able to take on someone else's energetic feelings, as if they were my own, and so I'm how many years later and I'm just like, I'll start to feel something and I'm like, hold on. Oh, this ain't my energy. Cause I'll just be sitting there and then all of a sudden if I start talking to somebody, cause I remember this happened a couple of times, I'll be on the phone and I'm talking to somebody and they're telling me about something. And I'm like, and then they'll be like, oh, and I'm feeling such, and I was like, oh, that's you. That's where that's coming from. Not blaming anybody. Trust and believe, I definitely don't want to blame anybody or make anybody feel bad about how they're feeling. But I just, brought awareness to the fact that, I was not feeling any type of energy, it was like an anxious energy. And then all of a sudden I started interacting with this person, and then but then I noticed lately, since, what's been going on in the cosmos, whatever you want to call it, that I've become an increasingly, sensitive to other people's energies. And I don't have to be near them. I could just be starting to think about them. And then all of a sudden I'm feeling what they're feeling. And that happened the other day, with my aunt. And, I was on my way to go and visit her. And I started all of a sudden feeling this, like, I don't want to get into it, but basically when I got there, it confirmed that she really was feeling that way. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, how cool is this? Like, I just think all this stuff is really cool, right? So I'm really an empath. I know it. I own it. I live it. I love it. It's amazing. It helps me to better connect with other people so that I can help them through my experiences and what have you. Psychic medium. Oh my gosh, this is an interesting one, right? So I don't want to say only, but I've known that I was sensitive to other entities that essentially don't have a physical body that they are incarnated in. And so essentially that's all it is, a soul. We all have souls that are in this vessel. If you're walking around, without a soul, I don't know what you are, but not you, obviously. But if that was the case, I don't even want to think about that. But we all have souls. And that soul is a part of the vessel, is what's essentially driving the vessel. And then once the vessel expires for whatever reason, the soul still has an energetic presence, and essentially I'm able to connect with that. Up until recently, very, 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 very recently, I had been able to have very strong connections with, I call them mothers that have passed too soon. And it wasn't until I made the connection with my great grandmother and her having passed too soon because she had young children, that her energetic essence was able to stay present. And she had a hard time moving on or what have you. And so from that, I was able to been bestowed that gift of being able to connect in that way. But like I said, up until recently, it was just mothers. But now it's pretty much anyone. But I'm gonna be honest, I don't put a lot of energy into that. And so I know that if I did that, it would be stronger, and I will, but just right now I'm like focusing on other things and other ways that I feel as though that my talents are more useful. Energy healing is one of them. That's like the one that I feel is like my most beneficial one at the moment. But I can connect, and I will get to the space of being able to help others heal through that connection as a psychic medium. The last one, and like kind of my favorite one, only because it's really interesting and I only just kind of like learned this myself, is master learner and educator. Yes, I am self-proclaimed, and I have absolutely no problem with that because I'm very well aware of my abilities and my capabilities. And so I came up with this idea, one, because of me recognizing my own abilities, but then also what other people would say about me and my abilities. But essentially, I've always been told like, oh my gosh, you are really smart. Like, you're so smart. And I would always think like, I don't feel like I'm really smart. I feel like I can just, once information is presented, I retain it very well. And then I'm able to use that and not only regurgitate it for how it is, but then transform it and use it in another form or fashion. Right. And so, I even went so far as to like get tested, if you're familiar with Mensa, then you'll know what that is. If not, it's okay. But I even went so far as to like go through that route to see like, am I really smart? And turns out I am, in society's terms of what, having a high IQ is. But that wasn't really important to me because it just seems like that was just, if I did that, I would be doing that for other people so that, I could say that that's what I am. And I really just came to that understanding too, after I met with this wonderful lady who helped me also to see that, if I did that, then I could do it for myself, but I don't really need that validation. But essentially I say master learner and master educator because there has been very, very, very few instances where I have not been able to learn something. It didn't matter what it was, whatever the subject matter was. I have such a wide interest in so many things that there's pretty much nothing that doesn't interest me. And I'm always eager to learn. Like, I love learning. And if I had the opportunity to learn, I'm on it. Like, I just learned how to knit today, and the lady was like, she just, because I didn't know that I was going to be learning that, at that moment. And so I was like really grateful, and she just was so like, she could not believe how excited I was. And I was just like, yes, like, this is amazing. Like, I'm learning a new skill. And I also like liken it to like having a childlike response when it comes to learning. Like, and I believe that that is my reason for being able to learn so well. But not only am I able to learn very well and efficiently, I call myself an efficient learner, but then I'm also able to teach what I have learned in a way that I can simplify it. And that's a gift. I recognize that as a gift. It wasn't until a child actually told me and was like, wow, Coach Ayesha, because that's what a lot of people call me because I coach. And she's like, you should be a teacher because you teach like really well and you can teach anything. And I was just like, oh, thanks. Like, coming from a child, that actually means a lot, because if she says that, then that really makes it true, because she understood what, the answer I provided about a question that she asked, that, it was kind of obscure, but I made it so that she could get it. And she's like, wow, that makes sense. And so I realized then, and even from, other people have always taught me, told me like, oh, you teach really well. Like, you're able to, you get them to do it, and they seem that you make it seem easy. And so I took that as, I can learn really well and I can educate really well, and I'm really good at it. And, being a master, I don't see myself as not being able to grow in this aspect, because literally it's in the term, learn and educate. So it's always going to be learning and educating, learning something new and then being able to educate. And so, yeah, that is essentially who I am. At this moment in time, at least, because I have the capacity and the drive and the will to grow, and I look forward to that. I don't think that there's anything else that is considered important information as it relates to this channel. I'll say that that I would need to like share or what have you. But yeah, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, ideas, what have you, I am more than happy to accept them graciously. And if I could be of benefit to you, then I am so grateful for that. And in the meantime, in between time, peace.